There's something no one is telling you. Every morning you open your eyes and the weight is already there, waiting for you. It's not exactly sadness, it's not clinical depression, it's something worse. It's the sense that nothing you do truly matters. Getting up, showering, working, fulfilling duties, repeating. What for? The question hangs in your mind like thick fog, and every time you try to answer it with logic, the answer dissolves. They've told you to seek purpose, to find your passion, to define your goals. A lie. That search is precisely what keeps you trapped, because here's the truth no one wants to face. The uselessness you feel doesn't come from life, it comes from the way you're living it. You're so busy looking for meaning in the future that you've lost the only moment where life actually exists. And that moment is now, right now, as you read this, and your mind is already planning what you'll do next. The problem isn't life, it's you resisting it. Every second you spend thinking it should be different, that it should feel different, that it should make more sense, you're adding layers of unnecessary suffering. Life isn't useless, your mind makes it appear useless because it's addicted to drama, to problems, to the constant search for something more. Have you noticed how your mind is never satisfied? Give it whatever you want. It will always want something else. You get the job, it wants the promotion. You get the promotion, it wants the recognition. You get the recognition, and suddenly everything feels empty again. See the pattern? It's not that life lacks meaning, it's that you're asking the future to save you from the present. And the future never arrives, because when you finally get there, it's already the present again, and your mind is projecting itself forward, running away, always running away. Here's what no one tells you. The uselessness you feel is your ego starving. The ego needs problems to survive. It needs drama. It needs the narrative that something is wrong. When everything is fine, the ego doesn't know what to do, so it invents the problem. This isn't enough. I should be doing more. I should feel different. My life should mean something. Do you hear that voice? That's not you. That's the voice of the ego manufacturing suffering to justify its existence, and you believe it every time. The greatest trick the ego ever played was convincing you that voice is you. But you are the one who hears the voice, not the voice itself. There's a chasm of difference there, a crack through which freedom slips in if you dare to look. The feeling of uselessness arises when you live completely identified with your mind. Your mind is a machine that creates time, past and future, regret and anxiety, memory and projection. But life doesn't happen in time, it happens now. When have you ever had a real problem in this exact moment? Not in 10 minutes, not tomorrow, but right now. Check. Are you in physical danger right now? Is there an emergency right now? If the answer is no, then the problem is in your head, not in your life. The mind creates ghost problems, hypothetical situations, catastrophic scenarios, and you live in that mental world, believing it's real. It isn't. It's a movie your mind projects, and you're sitting in the front row, forgetting that you can walk out of the theater whenever you want. So what do you do when life feels useless? This. Stop. Completely. Don't add anything. Don't search for anything. Don't try to fix it. Just stop. Feel the air entering your lungs. Feel your feet touching the ground. Listen to the sounds around you without judging them, without labeling them. See? In this moment, without thought, without story, without should, life simply is. It's not useful or useless, not good or bad. It simply is. And in that simple being, there is a peace that doesn't depend on external circumstances. That peace was always there, but you were too busy thinking to notice it. Life doesn't need you to give it meaning. Life is already meaning embodied. Every breath, every heartbeat, Every cell working in perfect harmony without you doing anything. Does that seem useless to you? The fundamental mistake is believing you need a reason to exist. You don't. The tree doesn't ask why it exists, it simply grows. The river doesn't seek purpose, it simply flows. But you, trapped in your mind, think you must justify your existence. To whom? To your own mind? It's a vicious cycle. The mind creates the problem and then tells you it has the solution. But the mind cannot solve what it created, because the solution will always stay within its own frame of reference. It's like trying to escape a maze using the map that's inside the maze. The only way out is realizing you can rise above the maze, see it from above, and then understand that you were never truly trapped. You only believed you were. Here comes the part your mind will resist. You don't need to do anything for your life to have meaning. Doing is the ego's strategy. Being is life's reality. The problem is, you've been conditioned to believe your value comes from what you do, from what you accomplish, from what you produce. So when you're not doing something important, you feel like you're wasting your life, but that's the biggest trap. Doing without being is emptiness, motion without direction, noise without music. First you must be, and from that being, the right doing arises naturally. But most people have it backward. They do and do and do, hoping that someday all that doing will give them a sense of being. It never comes. It can't come. It's like building a house starting from the roof. The question is not what to do when life feels useless. The question is, who is feeling that uselessness? Because if you look closely, you'll discover it's your mind feeling that, not you. You, the awareness that observes, that is present beyond thought, that part of you never feels useless. It simply observes. It simply is. Suffering arises when you identify completely with the content of your mind, with your thoughts, your emotions, your personal story. But you are not that. You are the space in which all of that happens. Imagine the sky. Clouds come and go, storms appear and vanish, but the sky remains untouched. You are the sky, not the clouds. But you've been so hypnotized by the clouds that you forgot you are the infinite space that contains them. When life feels useless, that's the sign you're living too much in your head and too little in your body, your senses, the now. The mind will always tell you that the present is not enough. This isn't what should be happening. I need something more. I need to get somewhere. But where are you going to arrive if you're not here first? Your entire life happens now. The past no longer exists. It lives only as memory in your mind. The future doesn't exist, only as mental projection. The only real thing is this moment. And in this moment, if you remove the weight of thought, life is extraordinarily simple and complete. It doesn't need you to improve it or understand it. It just needs you to live it. But living without the constant mental narrative terrifies you, doesn't it? Because if you let go of the story of who you think you are, what remains? That's the question most people never dare to answer, and that's why they stay trapped in suffering, because suffering at least gives them an identity. I'm someone who suffers, someone who struggles, someone who searches. Drop that identity, and suddenly you face the void. But that void isn't death, it's fullness. It's the space where everything is possible because you're no longer filled with yourself, with your story, with your past. The ego interprets that space as a threat because in that space, the ego cannot exist. That's why it keeps you constantly busy, constantly searching, constantly dissatisfied. If you stop, if you become still, the ego loses its power. So when you feel life is useless, do this immediately. Become the observer. Observe the thought that says, "This is useless," as if you were watching a cloud pass by. Don't fight it. Don't justify it. Don't identify with it. Just observe it. Ask yourself, who is noticing this thought? And in that act of observing, you create a separation between you and your mind. That separation is freedom, because then you realize thoughts come and go, but you remain. Emotions arise and fade, but you remain. Circumstances change, but you, the silent observer, are always here. That constant presence, that pure awareness, that is your true nature, and that can never be useless because it is the very source of life. Uselessness is a mental concept, and every mental concept is a prison. Think about this. A dog doesn't wake up wondering if its life has meaning. A bird doesn't question the usefulness of flying. Only humans, with their hyperactive minds, create this kind of abstract suffering. And the interesting thing is that the solution isn't in finding better mental answers, but in transcending the mind altogether. You cannot think your way out of this problem because thought is the problem. It's like trying to put out a fire with more fire. The way out is silence, the space between thoughts, the presence that exists before the mind labels everything as good or bad, useful or useless. Here's the secret that changes everything. Purpose isn't found, it's revealed. And it only reveals itself when you stop looking for it. When you're fully present, when your mind becomes quiet, something deeper emerges. An intelligence that doesn't come from thought, a clarity that doesn't come from analysis. Suddenly you know what to do without having to think about it. You act from inner stillness, not from mental compulsion. And those actions have a completely different power because they're not contaminated by the ego, not motivated by fear or the need to prove something. They simply flow from your essential being. But the mind doesn't trust that. The mind wants control. It wants to plan. It wants to know exactly how everything will unfold. And when it can't control, it creates anxiety, fear, a sense of uselessness. If I don't have a clear plan, I'm lost. If I don't know where I'm going, my life has no meaning. But that need for control is what keeps you stuck. Life flows, moves, transforms constantly. You can't control it. You can only flow with it. And to flow, you must let go. You must trust. You must be present. Presence is trust embodied. When you're present, you don't need to know what will happen tomorrow because you're fully alive now. Look around you in this moment. Is anything wrong right now, in this precise instant? Not in your mental story, not in your projection of the future, but now. If you look honestly, you'll see that in this moment, without the mental narrative, life is simply happening. And in that happening, there is an inherent perfection. Not conceptual perfection, but existential perfection. Everything is exactly as it must be in this moment, because it cannot be any other way. The river doesn't fight the rocks, it flows around them. The tree doesn't resist the wind, it sways with it. But you, with your mind, are constantly at war with what is, wanting it to be different, better, more meaningful. And that war is the source of all your suffering. The uselessness you feel is resistance to what is. You're resisting your life, this moment, this circumstance, and that resistance creates friction, and that friction hurts. But what would happen if you let go of the resistance? I'm not talking about passive resignation or accepting a bad situation. I'm talking about fully accepting this moment as it is, and from that acceptance, acting with clarity. Acceptance is not weakness, it is the greatest power that exists, because when you fully accept what is, you stop wasting energy fighting it, and all that energy becomes available to act, create, transform. So what do you do when life feels useless? Breathe consciously, 3 deep breaths, feeling each one completely. And in that simple act, you anchor yourself to the now. Then look around with fresh eyes, as if you were seeing everything for the first time. Without mental labels, without the filter of your story, just observe the colors, the shapes, the sounds. There is an inherent beauty in life that your mind constantly overlooks because it is too busy interpreting, judging, comparing. But when you see directly, without the veil of thought, even the ordinary becomes extraordinary. The light falling on a wall, the sound of the wind, the texture of your own skin. Everything is alive, everything is vibrating with existence. How can that be useless? The problem is that you've confused life with your concept of life. Your mind has ideas about how life should be, what it should feel like, what it should mean. And when reality doesn't match those ideas, you suffer. But ideas are not reality. The map is not the territory. You can have the most detailed map in the world, but until you walk the territory, you know nothing. You've been living in the map, in your concepts, in your beliefs about how life should be. And meanwhile, real life, the life happening right now, goes unnoticed. Here is the most radical invitation you will ever receive. Die psychologically. Die to your story. Die to your identity. Die to all your ideas about who you are and what your life should be. And in that death, you'll discover you don't die at all. What dies is the shell, the mask, the character you thought you were. What remains is life itself, expressing through you. And that life never asks whether it is useful or not. It simply is, with an intensity and vitality your mind could never fabricate. That is your true nature, not the small self that suffers and searches and never finds. That formless awareness, that essential being, that's what you really are. When life feels useless, that is the most important moment. It's not a problem to solve. It's an invitation to awaken. It's life telling you, stop looking outward, stop looking to the future, stop looking to achievements and recognition. Everything you need is already here, in the depth of the now. But you must dare to stop, to be vulnerable, to let go of everything you think you know. And in that space of not knowing, in that fertile silence, real life begins. Not life as a concept, but life as direct, immediate, undeniable experience. There is no uselessness there, only fullness. There is no emptiness there, only totality. There is no search there, only discovery. And all of it is available now, in this moment, if you stop running toward the tomorrow that never comes. If this resonated with you, if something in these words touched that part of you that already knows the truth, subscribe to the channel. Here we'll continue exploring these ideas no one else dares to say, exposing the lies that keep you asleep, reminding you who you really are beyond the mental noise. This isn't about accumulating more information, it's about awakening, and that awakening needs to be nourished constantly. Give this video a like if you're ready to go deeper, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and I'll see you in the next one, where we'll keep dismantling the illusions that separate you from real life.